colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our life. Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Okay, I think we are live, and we've got a ton of people in here today. I guess I'll. Am I going? Oh, well, fine. Jeepers creepers. I
Hello.
Yeah, why don't you pick up the slack here?
Oh,
While
well, I
you
don't
do
know.
things?
He said he was going to pause his printer, and then he decided that not to. He was.
No, I got busy with something else, and then
You can't do two things at once.
Yeah, but you leave at the last minute to tell me about anything too.
Yeah,
So,
well.
like, really? I mean, good God.
Thought maybe you would have clued in.
Well, I didn't, did I? By the way, your pie's running.
Yeah, I know it is. Well, either I put too much stuff in it to solidify it, and then it gets too jelly-like. And then if I put not enough, I put more than the recommended.
So why don't you hit a happy medium?
Yeah, well, I still have not figured that out yet.
Yeah, apparently not.
Well, either I did.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I always have a
Anyways,
problem with
they have
each
no
pie.
idea what we're talking
Anyway.
about. We'll talk about that in a moment, as that is related to something. Well, hello, everybody. We got a ton of you in, and today is a question and answer period, and I have a whole bunch of questions, and somebody just sent me a whole shitload more at 3:32. Yeah, cut it a little close, but that's okay. We'll get to them. It's good to have questions because we wanted questions. Otherwise, we're just going to be sitting here for the next hour and a half staring at you, which we've done that before. Okay, so let's see who's here. Well, number one on the list is Russ from Quilt Meets World. And he says, hello, Stephen, Walter, and Chad. Happy Sunday and all that jazz. Jazz hands. Everybody do jazz hands. They ought to have a thing, you know. They got this one that does the balloons. There we go. They should have one for jazz hands.
Oh, yeah, well.
I wonder what happens if you put both hands up like this. You get anything?
No.
Well, they should have two little hands come and go, yeah, jazz hands. Anyways, I digress. So Barb is here. She is number 2. And then Nina, number 3. And number 4 is Caroline. And Pace is here. And Julie's here. And
Viva or Eva?
Yeah.
Eva.
how do you read
okay.
YL?
I don't know.
I don't understand how you...
Y Baker.
Well, yeah. Sorry that we aren't pronouncing your name right, but YL. I'm not sure how you say YL. Maybe the Y is silent. It's just Liva. I don't know. This is when you want audio, you know, and people could tell you. But anyways, welcome. I don't think we've seen you on here before, so if you're new, that's great, wonderful, and welcome. Sue Norfleet's here, and she says, we finally had some rain today for 5 minutes. Yeah, it's been very dry down in Missouri, in the end of Missouri that Sue is from.
Well, we had a day last week that had torrential rain.
Yes, but we haven't had a lot of rain.
No.
Either. So Barbara is here. Hope everyone is well and staying safe, she says. Lydia's here. Hi, Lydia. Long time no see. You'll understand why in a moment or two. Judy is here. And Mona is here. And she's still in Canada, she says. Yes, Mona, for those of you that not on Wednesday Sewing with Stephen, Mona was showing us her progression from Arizona to north of Calgary, and which is quite a haul. And she joined us for the sew day. No, she was not sewing while she was driving the truck, but it was kind of neat because she took us to a few different spots as well on her journeys, and so that was kind of fun. Kim is here from Halifax. And Joanne G is here with a retracted message. She must have said something nasty and dirty. Karen B is here. Alice is here. Suzanne, Charlotte. Joanne G now says she loves the music. Okay, that's great. Thank you, Joanne. Heather is here. Dana is camping near Loon Lake in Saskatchewan, outside, waiting for the sun to shine, ironing stabilizer onto her pre-cut t-shirts. Well, you've got a busy day. Don't you, Dana? She likes the music too. Inez is here. Hello, Inez, and Glenna, and Gloria, and Grant. Everybody's loving the music.
Oh, and Angel.
And Angel's here. Hi, Angel. And Melissa from Saskatchewan is here as well. Faith is here. It just bounced on me. Where did it go?
I think you have to go up a little higher.
There it is. Okay. Karen is here from Vancouver, USA. Yes, there is a Vancouver in the USA, we have found out. We have one of our regular subscribers I think comes from that area as well. I don't think Brenda's on today. Pace says here's an echoing coming back on us. That may have been just a second ago because I turned my iPad on and there's a delay on that. Anybody else? Yeah, Joanne says no echo. So just for a second, if you're still hearing it, Pace, that's your problem. Because it's not from our end. Dubrovka's here and she says we are here, so Al is there with her. Hi, Al. Phyllis says good morning. And echo. Kim says there's no echo. Barb's got jazz hands up. Alyssa says hello, gentlemen. A big hug from. We tried this word last week, didn't we? Montevideo.
Yeah, Montevideo. Yeah.
Montevideo. And Grant says
Montevideo. No.
No, I don't know. Grant says jazz hands should be glitter. Yep, true. Candace is here. Hi, Candace. Diana's here. Hi, Diana. Linda, Arta, Linda Carson. Colleen is here. Hello, Colleen. Denise is here. Bonnie is here. And Angel says it's been a while since I could catch a live. Yeah, well, we're glad you're here today with the question and answer. So welcome, everybody. So let's jump into what's been happening, and then we're going to move to the Q&A, and you gave us quite a few Q&As to look at today. So what have I been working on? Well, let me see if I can pull it up here. That's not what I want. And it is right. Just bear with me, people. I have it here somewhere. Ah, there we go. Okay. So I've been working on this. They call it a Hall mini quilt, but only one block is the mini quilt part of it. It's an in the hoop project. And I thought, well, you know, I kind of like doing them. So I made 4 of them. And then I got this sashing on it. I've gone a little further though, but I didn't have time to take a picture of the further part that I'm doing. I'm putting another couple of borders on it, a really skinny one to make it look like a flange, and then a wider border after that. And basically my idea here is this really won't be a quilt because it's not soft, because under each one of those blocks is stabilizer. But it'll look okay draped over a chair as a decoration or something in October when I start putting out the October, autumn, fall, Halloween stuff for the house. But you know me and in the hoop stuff, I love doing them. And the other thing I've been working on is this. And you've heard me talk about this, and I showed you one last week that was a little bit more simple. But these are those felt tote bags, heavy felt tote bags that come from a dollar store here in Canada that we have called Dollarama. They charge $5 a piece for these. They are nice size. They're pretty strong and durable. So on the pop-up sew day this week, I decided to make it into a Christmas tote bag, and I embroidered the little gnomes in the truck and the trees on either side. And on the back panel, the same thing is there. You have to take the bag apart to get it under your needle on your embroidery hoop, but it comes apart really easy, and it's a little tricky putting it back together, but not that hard. What's tricky about it is this is a pretty stiff felt, and you're trying to go around those curves, especially at the bottom, and keep everything lined up. But it does work, and you know, for $5, mind you, I spent a day embroidering it, but for $5, you know, especially if you're not somebody who knows how to make a tote bag, or you don't want to, this is pretty good. Now, unfortunately, from my American friends have told me they've kind of looked in their dollar stores in their area. Someone mentioned Dollar General, and they didn't find any of those there. So I don't know if this is something that is exclusive to the Canadian Dollarama or not. Mona's up in Canada right now, and she bought some. Contact Mona, balloonist, and ask her to buy you a few of them and bring them down. She can ship them. Yeah, I probably got her into trouble now. But I'm going to make a bunch of these because I think they'll make kind of neat little Christmas gifts. Like I always make things for the ladies at the local quilt store, and I'm thinking I'll make maybe one of them, each of them, one of them. They take a while with the embroidery, but put different designs on each of their bags and maybe put their little goodies I'm in the process of making right now. More about that, not today, but on my vlog on tomorrow. And
Is
Yeah.
that pattern that you've got one with the truck on it one pattern, or is that three different patterns or two patterns? Like
Okay.
a Christmas tree. I'm just saying, is this all one pattern?
The one with the truck is one pattern. The Christmas tree is another
Oh,
pattern. And
okay.
in fact, and the other Christmas tree is the same as the
Yeah.
other. And I edit them
Oh,
edit
okay.
them
All right.
on the computer software that's in the machine, in
Okay.
the embroidery machine. Speaking of which, embroidery machine and software, Artistic Digitizer, for those of you that have a Genome, know that um, they have just come out with a version 2 upgrade, a major upgrade to the existing 1.7 version of Artistic Digitizer. Now, you have to buy it. And so to get the upgrade, you've had to own the version 1.7. And 1.7 was not cheap. When I bought it, I think it cost me over $1,200. And I debated because I watched one video that came out, and there's going to be more about what are the changes they've made. And to be honest, what I did see, I don't know how much those changes are much like affect me. But then I thought, well, basically, I want to keep up with what's the latest in that, and it's cost me Canadian dollars to pre-order the upgrade. But if you've invested into this program, and although we don't use it a lot, we do use it sometimes, and maybe might use it more with some of the newer features in it. So yeah, we don't get it though until, well, supposedly October. I have a feeling if it comes in October, I'll be surprised. But whatever, I'm not in a rush. Of course, they do have my money. Okay, so one other thing I want to show you in what I've been working on is not something I made, but I want to make, is this. Sue Norfleet, who is a regular on here, and she's in the chat right now, surprised me yesterday, in the mail yesterday, during the pop-up sew day, near the end of it, this arrived. First of all, I didn't know they delivered mail on.
No, they didn't. It was probably in the box on
Oh,
Friday.
that's where
I
you.
didn't check it.
Oh, okay. So it may have been here since Friday.
Yeah.
But anyways, Sue was on in the pop-up sew day when it arrived, so I was able to open up. It's a little thread catcher. It sits now right next to my embroidery machine. Before that, I was using a little 3D printed bowl, but I like this better. It is very cute, and she also sent along this card that goes along with it and wrote a personal note in it. But I love it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. So thank you, Sue, so much for that. That was a nice surprise yesterday, getting that. And I went and I purchased the pattern for this. I think it was a sweepy pattern. And yeah, I'm going to make some of those and maybe give some of these to the ladies at the quilt store as well. I think they'd probably use them and like them. And they're great if you're going on a retreat too, or something, or to a class, and you have it right next to your sewing machine, because this doesn't take up a lot of space. I think it's about 4x4 by 4. And you can customize the colors, whatever you want, and the whole bit. So yeah, so that's a project down the road that I have to get started on if I want to make some for Christmas. So thank you, Sue. That was very nice. She said it was a belated birthday present for me. So either way, it was a nice surprise. Okay. Just a note about the channel name change. I mentioned last week that I'm no longer Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter. It's just the Idiot Quilter. No big deal, except one of our subscribers mentioned to me that if you are a regular subscriber, you might not get notifications because I changed the name of the channel slightly. But all you need to do is go into my channel, to any of the videos, click on subscribe, so that will unsubscribe you, and then click on subscribe again, and that will resubscribe you, and make sure your bell notifications are turned on.
You should hit subscribe.
Yes, that will unsubscribe you.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then you hit subscribe again, and that will resubscribe you.
Okay.
What problem do you have with that?
Well, it just sounded to me like you had.
Well,
I
I
thought
think
you
you
had
need
to hit unsubscribe first.
No, because there's no unsubscribe
Oh,
button.
okay.
It's a toggle.
I did not know that.
Do you use YouTube much?
No.
This is what I put up with.
Well, I don't remember things.
What's your name?
I don't know.
Well, I'll give you one. You'll never forget it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so moving right along. Yeah. Okay, so on Wednesday, we had Sewing with Steven on Wednesday. And on the Idiot Quilter this week, I'm going to go through a list of things that we talk about. And they're varied. And I think some people are afraid that there won't be anything to see, to listen to, or to say, or whatnot. No, on the Sewing with Steven Wednesdays, we talk about everything. I think we talked at one point about Walter throwing out his underwear, and yeah, you have to be there to know what that means. But I'm going to go through a list of things, thanks to Sue again, who has a journalist background. She wrote down this list, and I never thought of that before, but oh my God, the things we talk about and how we get from one topic to the next, it is a mystery. So I'll go over that on Tuesday on the Idiot Quilter episode. But Sewing with Steven is always on Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Eastern Time start. We run till 4. Come and go as you please. Work on whatever you want. Have a good time. Pop-up Sew Day. If you missed it on Saturday, shame on you. We had a good group there. It was lots of fun. People seem to get a lot of things done. And when's the next pop-up sew day? Don't know. You never know. That's why they're called pop-up sew days. I usually try to run at least one every month, and they're always on a Saturday. But I will give you about a 5-day warning, maybe even up to 7 days warning about when the next one will be. And again, all are welcome. You just need the Zoom link, and I'll tell you how to get that at the time. And come and go as you please. Okay. So Chatty this week. If you didn't see it, we did something a little different. The title was Are We Really Creatives? And we got a little philosophical. We talked about the whole creative process, and we talked about what the experts say creativity is and what the characteristics are of a creative person. And then we kind of related that stuff to our own experiences in our own lives, and, you know, how we got started being, because we are creatives. I consider ourselves creatives. And creatives doesn't just mean somebody who sews. I mean, creatives can be painters, can be woodworkers, there's all kinds of aspects. And we talked about those on that as well. So we had a lot of comments about that topic. People seem to be really were into it. I think we brought up some childhood memories for some people in one segment of it as well, they mentioned. So yeah, maybe we should do a few other philosophical kind of things down the road. What those will be, I have no idea. So that was So Chatty this week. Walter was creative this week and very productive. You notice I didn't show you what Walter was working on because he probably wouldn't want to show how he's destroying my new shirt. Want to elaborate on that, Walter?
Well, I had the seam open up in the back, so I did fix it, sort of. I got it fixed, and then I was cutting a thread off the back, and I accidentally nipped back the back, what do you call it? There's a pleat in the back. And oh
dart?
no, a dart. Yeah, you know, there's a little pleat
that
gathers
pleat, yeah.
the back, and I accidentally put a hole through it.
Oh.
So I still have that. And unfortunately, that fabric that we have, one of the problems with that fabric, why it pulled out, is that it frays really bad. And sometimes I trim the seams down on the back so that you don't have a bulky seam, because
it's called what, graduating the seams or something?
Yeah, and so I think that's the one that the back part pulled out with it, and especially when you wore the backpack.
Yeah, you keep going on about that. Maybe it was just shoddy workmanship, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe
could have been that. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
It was always an excuse.
So I just have to fix that.
Okay. This is the shirt from hell, and
I
really like this shirt.
It's the shirt that's doomed, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I really like that fabric.
Yeah, and it always ends up being the one that you really like.
Yeah, it was becoming my favorite. Well, maybe not so much now. I don't know. We'll see with that. So let's catch up here on what people have been saying. Linda says, are you taking us to any quilt shows soon? I enjoy watching your trips to those. None that we know of at the moment. And if there are any, it would be probably local guild type
That's right.
shows.
There's the one in Buckhorn coming up.
Oh, when's that? That's in
I have it on my
September, isn't it?
calendar. Yeah, I have to figure it out when.
Yeah.
It's a little one, and apparently some of it's outdoor if it's nice weather.
So I think that was in September. I think I put it in my calendar. Yeah. So
I
to
did.
answer your question, yes,
A
we
little
will.
one.
If we go to one, we will be
It
showing
won't be
you.
a big one though. It will be
No, it'll be a
one.
small one, more of a local kind of thing. But
Yeah.
as for far as really huge, big quilt shows, we don't have really huge, big quilt shows here in Canada. What we have is like Canada Quilts, the Canadian Quilters Guild, which happens once a year. And that's the one that you saw earlier in the year in June that we went to in Toronto. Next year it's in Winnipeg. I don't think we'll be traveling to Winnipeg.
It's September 6th.
September 6th. Oh, so it's
Yeah.
after Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
So it's the weekend after. So that's coming up pretty soon. So yeah, we're going to make definitely sure that we get to that one and check it out. And of course, we'll take you along with us. Well, Mona says to Barb, she's making a quick stop at Along Came Quilting. Well, Mona went there on Wednesday, and we got to see, and oh, she was an enabler because I bought $300 worth of fabric from this place, and it's supposed to arrive. I think it's supposed to arrive on Tuesday, but I don't think it's going to arrive in time for me to show it on the Idiot Quilter, but I may be able to show it to you what I bought on So Chatty this coming week. By the way, if you have some ideas or topics you would like us to talk about on So Chatty, please drop them in my email or put them in the comments of any of the videos that we do, and we'd be happy to pursue those ideas further. We need ideas. Let's see. Everybody likes the tote bag and the gnomes. What area of Dollarama did you find the gray tote bag? Well, Barb, they usually hang them over by the checkout counters on the wall. You know how they have all the reusable bags up there, kind of a thing? Well, that's where they are, usually. Or
in ours, anyway.
In ours. And in one of ours, I saw them when you're going through the little, you know, the aisle that you walk down to get to the checkout kind of a thing. And they have all those quick sale items, or, you know, the things that they try to suck you in to buy as an impulse buy. They sometimes are hung there as well. But if you don't see them, ask for them, because and they come in 3 colors, all gray.
Yeah,
dark
light
gray,
medium gray, and dark gray.
Yeah, with them. So I've have one of each color. Going down, nice tote. Kathy's here. Her dollar store stinks. Well, maybe they should clean it. Linda says very gorgeous. Someone's going to be very happy for a cute Christmas gift. I think we went such on there. That was. Let's just call her Yulava for now. I know that's probably not how you say it, but I have no idea how you say your first name there, Ms. Baker. Dubrovka says such a cute tote. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. Linda says, are you VFC talking about... I hate acronyms.
What's this? Where are you talking about?
Are you, under Linda, are you VFC talking about Janome embroidery only machine? Do you understand?
I don't see the comment.
It's right here, blind. See my arrow?
Are you
VFC talking about Janome embroidery only machine? I'm not sure, Linda, what you're asking. Can you clarify that, please? Alyssa's here and says, I like monograms embroidered in shirts. Oh, Alyssa, do you have an embroidery machine? Is that all you do with it? Because, oh my God, you're not getting your money's worth if that's all you're doing. We've talked about that before. I mean, that's something you can do for sure, but there's so much more.
I got vaccines for children.
Okay, I don't think that's what she meant. Betty's here. Hi, Betty. Charlotte says, I really enjoyed the creative topic. Oh, I'm glad you did, Charlotte. Linda says, definitely the fabric's fault. Yep, exactly, Linda. So what no.
Oh,
the fault of the sewer.
The software maybe she's talking about. is it only for the Janome?
That's not what she's saying.
No.
She's talking about Janome embroidery only machine.
Oh,
We weren't
okay.
talking about a Janome only embroidery machine, so I'm not sure what VFC means. I'm lost. I'm sorry. I'm very lost. Russ says the shirt could be worse. I saw a vid where someone accidentally put something together with water soluble thread. Yeah, that won't work. That's a one-off. You wear it once, watch it, that's it. Linda likes local shows as well. And M's here. Hi, Em. Yeah, gray is a great neutral, Linda, especially if you're using, like when you're doing embroidery on it, because you can really see the embroidery pops from it. And S says, better buy lots of bags now because everyone will be getting them. Yeah, I kind of think that, Inez. Yeah, this is going to catch on. Faith says, just found the tote bags in different sizes and colors on Temu. Oh, how much are they asking for them, Faith? I would pay $5 for the one that I got, $5 Canadian. Betty likes the Christmas bag. That's a typo, VFC.
Yeah, it was a typo. So if you remove that from that.
Okay, if you remove that from that, then what's she really asking? Where is it now? I've lost it. Okay. Now I can't find your comment.
Are you talking about Janome
Oh,
embroidery
here.
only machine?
Are you talking about Janome embroidery only machine?
Still don't understand what you're doing.
If you're referring, Linda, to the software that I mentioned, the upgrade, yes, Artistic Digitizer, well, it is a Janome product, but it will save files that you create in it that can work with other embroidery machines besides Janome, if that's what you mean.
In fact, actually, the software, the Artistic Digitizer, is actually a commercial product. It's a rename of a commercial product that's available, as far as I know, called Draw Stitch.
Yeah.
So if you look up Draw Stitch, that's the same similar product as what Artistic Digitizer. I don't know if Artistic Digitizer has some special stuff in it for Janome machines or not.
Oh, and so Ms. Baker says, if you pronounce my name like it's spelled, I don't understand 3 consonants in a row. Alva? LLVA. It's okay. But she says it's an old Viking name and she's Swedish.
Okay, I still don't know others.
Okay, well, we'll fix it. We'll just call you IKEA. Sorry, but I don't know how you pronounce LLV. Lalava? I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not making fun of Swedish, okay? Love your furniture. But yeah, Faith says $3, $4 and up. Oh, okay, so there's a possibility there. I might have to look at that and see, just in case I can't get them from my dollar store suddenly. Lydia says, I think Linda mentioned that when you were talking about the artistic. Yeah, I think we've got it figured out now, I guess. I hope.
Yeah. It is sold by Janome, the Artistic Digitizer, but
but it does other formats.
It actually works on either a Mac computer or a PC computer.
Yeah.
I think there's another one that's available, like I can't remember, the Hatch products and stuff like that. They're only PC only. They don't work on Macs.
Yeah. But the format that you can save whatever you've created or edited in, you can save it in other formats that work on other machines too. So yeah, but it is an expensive program and it's got a extremely steep learning curve. Now there's lots of videos on YouTube. Janome has all kinds of videos about it too, with their expert on using the software. Basically, I can't remember everything that it does or how to do it. It's on a need to know basis. So that's how I use it. If there's something I'm thinking I would like to do this and I wonder if I can, then I will go to it and play around with it and see what I can come up with.
The software is what do we call it? It's a designs. It helps you design embroidery files
or edit
embroidery files. You have to use it on your computer, not
not on the embroidery machine.
Right. So you have to use it on your computer, and it creates an embroidery file that you can then use on your Janome. But it will create embroidery files for other machines as well.
Yeah, that can be read by other
Yeah,
machines.
like I mean, it'll create ones that you can use, embroidery files that you can use on a brother or on other embroidery machines.
So did you just answer Linda's question then? Is the software which you spoke for a Janome 500E or Janome sewing embroidery machine? And I think we just answered that with, no, you can use it on others, but as Walter says, it's a computer program. You do all the editing and the creation of your file on your computer, and then you copy the final version of that file. You export it into what your machine can read, and you send it to whichever way. Usually that's done by copying over to a USB drive and plugging it into your embroidery machine. Ms. Baker says IKEA is fine. Sorry, I can't pronounce that.
Is it like something like Elva or something?
Yeah,
like that? You pronounce the Y differently, like an E or something?
Maybe.
Elva or something?
Yeah, maybe the Y is pronounced better. And now it's a mystery to us. Scott says beginner quilters, Janome or Juki or something else, budget $800 to $1,600 Canadian. Huh? So what's that in reference to, Scott? Are you saying for beginner quilters, Janome or Juki or something else, budget $800 to $1,600 Canadian? Like,
you must be answering somebody else's question.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Lost the thread there on that one. Okay, so yesterday on Pop-Up Sew Day, a few of you know this already, I was sworn to secrecy. When we were in the UK, one of our regulars and a friend, her husband contacted us, and he wanted to surprise her, and her name is Lydia, and she's on here, and many of you know Lydia. She lives in the Ottawa area. He wanted to surprise her for her birthday by meeting up with us. And we went, sure, that sounds like a great idea. Why don't you guys come for dinner? So we set that all up, but he wanted to make sure that it was an absolute secret. And you know me, I can't keep secrets well, but I managed to keep this pretty well. I did tell a few people, but they were sworn to secrecy too. Anyways, they showed up after the pop-up. That's why the pop-up, some of you might have been wondering why I was stopping the pop-up at 4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock, because usually we go to 5 o'clock. And I said, well, we had something on with that, but that's what we had on, was the surprise birthday little celebration for Lydia. So Lydia was surprised. Her husband, Scott, kept it a really good secret. And I thought, well, how are you going to get her to our place? Because they were on their boat in the Thousand Islands. And the Thousand Islands is a couple of hours away from us. He told her he was going to take her to Toronto for dinner for her birthday. But, you know, you're going down the major highway between us and Toronto and Gananoque, and it's, you know, it says Oshawa, big sign. And figured Lydia would probably clue in on that one when he was turning off for Oshawa. So I thought, how is he going to hide that? Well, I guess he made up some story about a cousin or something that was in the area and he had to drop in on him to deliver something. And she bought it. So she is on our doorstep, and I waited just a minute when they rang the doorbell and opened the door, and she said, I thought the house looked familiar. She's never been here before, but from the videos and things, anytime that I had shown the house and whatnot. So I captured the little event all on video, and I'm going to play it for you right now, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it, and this is going to run okay. So let me get it up here and switch it over, get us off, and here we go. Happy birthday. We didn't know if we'd get you here or not. Come in.
That's hilarious.
Leave your shoes on because we're going out on the deck and it's hot on the patio. But so how did she say anything when you were coming up to Oshawa?
Well, he didn't say. He's just at Toronto. And this is, we have to stop in and go visit my cousin briefly.
I have a package to drop off from my cousin, from my mom.
And I've never been to your cousin's place. I have no idea where we're going. And then I start to look at this place. I'm like, this looks awfully familiar. Like the green, because I remember you guys saying. And then you said, you guys have been saying, we've got something. We got to leave early.
Yeah.
Am I the something?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Who are you people? What are you doing here? Yeah. Well,
Oh gosh.
so here we are, queen for the day
My little rubber ducky.
with her little rubber ducky. And we're having champagne.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Lydia. This is your 29th. How many times now?
45.
So cheers. Here's looking up your kilt with a wire brush.
Nice, thank you.
And there goes your crown.
Sorry.
No, she didn't. Just broke the crown. Yeah, no. Okay.
Yeah, this looks really cute.
Would just sell like hotcakes.
How gorgeous is this, guys? How lucky
There
am
are
I?
people that try to sell them.
Yes.
This is. I think I'm gonna try to put this on my M7 when I get home. I think it might fit. What do you think?
It might, yeah, it might fit on the top press up.
That is
I didn't really
so
think
neat.
of that. I could have customized that to fit.
I think it would.
So that was a great day with Lydia and Scott, and they actually had a hotel room, so they were at our place until about midnight. I guess we had a lot of fun with it. Also, it was great to see them, and yeah, we'll have to do it on our next 45th, whenever that would be. So we'll get into the questions here, but I noticed Scott said he was looking for your advice. Sorry. Okay, so he's looking for a beginner machine, Janome or Juki or something else, budget $800 to $1,600. Well, we don't know much about Jukis. Everybody talks about Juki machines, and I've never heard anybody say anything bad about a Juki. But Janome, we're Janome boys, and we've had always good luck with Janomes, with the exception of the 15,000, but you won't be buying that. They don't make it anymore. And you can definitely get for
you can get depending on what you need for your machine. There are machines within your budget. If you want to go a little bit more higher up, you can get ones with bigger throats or something like that for more expensive money. But you'd best go to a dealer and say, this is what my budget is.
and what you want to do with it.
And what you want to do with it, yeah.
And also ask the question, do they service the machines on site as well? Because if you have to travel several hours to get to a Janome dealership if you need your machine serviced, or if they send it out, you could be without a machine for weeks on end. So
I mean, your machine probably doesn't need to be serviced right away, but
no,
I mean, if
but down
something
the
does
road
go wrong with it or something, you do need some that support. So,
and our dealer also offers any machine she sells. She offers free lessons on how to use it as well. You can book with her for those kind of things. And I know there are other dealers that do something similar. So it's good to make sure that they're not just selling you a machine, they've also got servicing for it in different levels or at different levels. What else is everybody saying? Happy birthday to Lydia.
yeah, Linda says Juki is a workhorse, Janome is user friendly. So yeah, you'd have to go maybe to a Juki dealership and a Janome dealership and check out what's available and see what works for you.
Yeah. So Lydia loves her crown. Yeah, I made Lydia a bag full of 3D print things, and Scott got a few too. He almost got a printer, but that's down the road. Yep, just catching up here. Okay, and Scott says he can go higher. Well,
I mean, the higher you go, the better. Not the better machine that has more features. More features on it.
More features. A lot of features you probably won't use as a
yeah.
quilter, but
like I mean, if you just want a straight stitch machine, the Janome has a straight stitch machine that's I think sells for about $2,000.
Yeah, but also the higher end machines have a larger throat space. So if you're going to do quilting, the actual quilting part on your domestic machine, the bigger the throat space, the better. I mean, an M8 has, I have an M7, and the difference between the M7 and the M8, and I love my M7, is simply that it has a stitch regulator, which means if you're quilting on your machine, it will make all your stitches the same size because you're basically doing free motion when you're quilting on a domestic machine. Yeah,
but then That may be out of his price
Well,
range,
that may
so
be out. Yeah, because that machine I think runs now at about
$8,000.
about $8,000. Yeah, that might be out of your budget for a beginner, and you don't need that much.
I have a 6700P and I think it runs at 3400 right now. But that again, that may be way beyond your price range. But you go into a dealership and look around and ask. And
ask them
dealership is actually the best place to go
Yeah.
because they usually have the best prices.
And what we mean by a dealership is not necessarily a separate store. It could be a quilt store, but they also deal in those machines. Ours, the woman who runs the store, who owns the store, is Quilt Shop. She's trained by Janome about their equipment, and she's even a trained technician.
Yeah, look up a quilt store that sells the brand of machine that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And if it's another machine, there may be another quilt store that sells other types of machines. You could go take a look around and see what you want for different types of machines, different brands or whatever. In Canada, there aren't a lot of dealerships that deal with Brother. They usually are Bernina and Janome, and you may find a Juki one.
Yeah. Okay, so let us get into the questions you sent to us, and these are on all kinds of different topics. So I put them on slides so you can see them as well. And here's our first question that comes from Heidi. Heidi is a regular on here and usually a regular on our sew days on Wednesday. She goes, has Walter ever made flavored vinegars using herbs from the garden and grow lights? Is that something that he's interested in? As we know, he likes to cook and experiment.
Actually, I have never done that, and I have never even thought of that.
I know.
So I think I'm going to look into that.
You could also make flavored oils.
Yeah.
Too, which I think I've thought about that before as well. I haven't bothered to do it, but yeah, so that might be something to look into. New hobby for Walter. Watch for them on a grocery store shelf soon. Walter's flavored vinegars or sourpuss. And I don't know why that one came out that size, but it is. Heidi also asked me a question. She says, your piecing skills are incredible, and we know that you love Lucy. Well, you usually love Lucy. And of course, if you're not sure what Lucy is the name of my embroidery machine, or not embroidery machine, my long arm machine, and we have a love-hate relationship. But are there any different sewing or quilting techniques that you would ever want to explore, even if that's only adding a bit of machine applique or embroidery to a quilt? Yes, Heidi, I have played with the idea. I have played with the idea and watched videos about taking scraps and just basically doing improv quilting, except you're doing it with the long arm. You do a lot of heavy, dense quilting to hold the pieces down, kind of a thing, because it's real raw edge at that point. But I have thought of that. I have thought of also making my own quilted cloth that could be used as, to make a garment, like make a quilted jacket or something like that. I haven't tried that yet. I want Walter to learn how to use Lucy so he can quilt my quilts, because I'll be honest, you've heard me say this before, that part of the quilting I don't like that well. I like piecing. Whereas he doesn't like piecing, but he wants to play with the technology. It's just getting him in there to play with Lucy with that. Okay, next question. This came from IVG. Hi, I always enjoy all of your videos. I was wondering about the weather on your trip to England. It looked very cloudy and gray most of the days. Was that really your experience? And what was the temperature? Generally cool and damp or more warm and humid?
Okay, it was, we did have a few cloudy days. We did have a few sunny days. We didn't get a lot of rain.
No.
When we were there.
It was spotty showers, sort of.
Some rain, spotty showers and that.
Yeah.
Here and there on cloudy days, obviously. And the temperature ranged anywhere between about 20 and 25 degrees Celsius, which was warm enough that you didn't really need a jacket. Except for the evenings it cooled off quite a lot. It was getting quite cool, like more 12 to 15 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, I think England does have a general reputation for being always rainy and cloudy. And we've been several times to England, and yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
can be.
had some rainy days when we were in England in previous trips. Um, but this time we were lucked out and we didn't have a lot of rain, but there were some days that were cloudy.
Yeah. But generally speaking, on this trip anyways, the weather didn't interfere with anything we wanted to do.
No.
So it was okay. Okay, next question. Caroline Farmer asks, what travel destinations are on your bucket list and why? Well,
we've gone to a lot of places.
we've been to, let's start listing them. We have been to Norway, Finland, Sweden, Poland, Germany, Russia, Estonia, Egypt, England, Ireland, Scotland. Never been to Wales.
No, we've never been to Wales. We've been.
I'm moving down the map.
Spain. Well, obviously Netherlands.
Yeah.
Spain.
Italy.
Portugal. Greece.
Moving down or across, we've been to China, Vietnam, Taiwan, or not Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, of course through the States as well.
Yeah, we've
Canada.
been all over the place in the U.S. Like we've been to we're New York. We've been to New Orleans. We've been to
California,
Florida,
the Eastern Seaboard, like Connecticut, Boston, Maine.
We went to the Michigan, Vegas and Grand Canyon.
Vegas, Grand Canyon. We've done a lot of traveling. So what's on our bucket list? Japan.
Japan right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where else right now.
I can tell you where we won't go. We won't go to Jamaica. We won't go to Haiti. We've been through the Caribbean.
We thought of India at one point, but I'm not sure.
I don't have any desire to go to India anymore. We've never been to Alaska, and everybody talks about Alaskan cruises. And
we don't have a great deal of
desire
to do that.
To go to Alaska. I mean, okay, we live in Canada.
We don't really have any desire to Hawaii.
No. I used to when I was younger. I always wanted to go to Hawaii, but I don't have that desire anymore. No, I don't want to go anywhere in South America.
Yeah, actually, South America is not a biggie on our list.
No. Mexico, we have been sort of our tiptoe into Mexico, as in Tijuana.
Africa's not big on our list either.
No, Africa's not big on our list either.
I mean, we've been to Egypt, which is a kind of part of Africa.
Egypt is one of those places you only go to once. You go to see the pyramids and get the hell out. We have been to, we were in the airport of Abu Dhabi.
We did, we've gone to a lot of Caribbean islands too, mainly on cruises. I've been to Puerto Rico, actually stayed for a week there.
Yeah, that's right.
And we been on cruises that have visited, like, what do you call it?
I don't know what you're
Barbados and St. Lucia and
down the Caribbean and all that.
Virgin Islands, and we haven't really, only other than Tijuana, we've never really been to Mexico. I wouldn't mind going on a trip sometime when it's warm in Mexico, but Steve doesn't have a big desire to go.
Well, I don't know. I'm a victim of the media, I guess, because it kind of, I have a bit of a fear of it. However, my sister goes every year, but they, mind you, they're in a timeshare kind of a thing, and they've been going for many years in a row, and they love it.
And I know lots of people that go there.
Yeah,
so.
and I mean, I guess you just have to pick where you're going to go, like Puerto Vallarta, but you stay in a place where, probably an all-inclusive or some place that's considered safe.
Yeah, we're not really big beach people. So.
No. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. That's why we don't
We like to sightsee
Gyrate to
and
the
go,
hot places.
places. Oh, I'd like to go to Newfoundland. We haven't been to
Oh
Newfoundland.
yeah, we haven't
yet.
been to Newfoundland yet.
We've been all across Canada, but
Yeah.
we haven't been to Newfoundland.
Yeah, we want to go to Newfoundland. That's on the list for sure on that. And I think Scott asked here, Phyllis says Japan is very beautiful and very clean. I've heard that. Scott says, have you ever considered a quilter's cruise? Yes and no. No. Okay, and here's why. I am sure for some people it's great. You love it. Kind of a deal. But I can't see, they're expensive. They're more expensive than a regular cruise. And I can't see the point of going on a cruise to sit around with a bunch of people in the bowels of the boat quilting. I like quilting. I like retreats, that kind of thing. But to me, that's too expensive. I want to get out, like Walter said. When we go on cruises, we pay for all kinds of excursions off the ship to see wherever we're at port. Now, I know that they don't do the quilting except on days at sea. But even that, there's so much to do on those ships.
Yeah.
I mean, the ships themselves are a destination.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't interested in seeing where you're going to be stopping, there is so much you can see and do on one of those big ships now. So yeah, it doesn't appeal to me.
No, and not only that, like I said, if you look into the pricing of the quilting cruises, if you look at the quilting cruise itself and then go back and check the exact same cruise online, often they're half the price if you don't have the quilting option. You're paying a lot for that quilting option.
Now, Linda says New Zealand with a question mark. Yes, we've been to New Zealand.
It was actually a cruise.
It was part of a cruise, actually, that we flew to Auckland and picked up the cruise there, and we cruised all the way down to Sydney in Australia. And that was nice. That was great. That
went all the way around the top island of New Zealand and the bottom island of New Zealand. And we actually took a bus tour that took us right across the bottom part of New Zealand and saw the mountains down there and everything.
New Zealand is really nice. The people are really nice in New Zealand too. But especially if you are someone who likes nature and you like to hike and all that kind of stuff, then you might want to consider New Zealand because it's definitely geared towards
it
that.
Is a very beautiful country.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah. And that was our introduction really to Australia the first time. And I mean, of course, we fell in love with Australia.
Yeah, and we've been to Australia
4 times.
4 times, yeah.
4 times.
And we've been all across Australia. We've been to Cairns, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth.
So basically, we've hit all the major cities.
Yeah.
In Australia. So, yep, love Australia a lot. Now, changing the subject here for just a second, Alyssa says, I'd like to sew a shirt for myself for the first time. Would you recommend an indie pattern for me? Thank you.
An indie pattern?
I think independent pattern. I don't know.
Okay. The ones I use is called the Gosling. And it's, you can find it anywhere online. Just look up Gosling, Gosling. If you're looking for a men's shirt. If it's a lady shirt, I don't know what you would get. Sinclair, if you look up Sinclair patterns, or Wardrobe by Me, they have a lot of patterns. They're online patterns, and just pick and choose what you'd like to sew.
Mona says, I just bought another panel in some O Canada 108 ombre fabric. Back on the road, heading back towards the border. Mona certainly paid all the employees' salaries for this week at that Along Came Quilting, for sure. Okay, so our next question that was sent in is, and this comes from our friend Russ. He says, since I heard you're getting Art East's second star to the right, what is your favorite Peter Pan movie and why is it Hook? I think he's leading me on here on that one. I don't have a favorite Peter Pan movie. In fact, I'm not really a fan of Peter Pan, period.
No.
I mean, when I was a kid, I remember seeing it on television, and I remember the scene where Wendy sews Peter Pan's shadow back to him, and I remember cringing at the idea.
Yeah, actually, I've never actually liked a Peter Pan movie that much.
No, I'm not, and I never read the book.
Hmm.
I mean, I know who wrote the book and everything like that, but I've never seen it as a stage play, and I have seen the movie Hook. They're good. They're good, but I guess for me, it's for kids.
Mhm.
I'm not into the kids' movies and that. But the reason I was attracted to Art East's Second Star to the Right is I like the color scheme and I like the way he did the characters on it. So yeah, so that's why I'm doing it. But anyways, and if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, Art East is a Canadian company down in Cape Breton, the east coast of Canada, and John, the owner of the company and the designer of the patterns, does wonderful quilting patterns. You have to be patient with it. There's a lot of cutting, and I mean a lot, and a lot of tiny pieces. But his instructions for all of his quilts are absolutely excellent. You will have no problem doing one of his quilts. Your biggest problem is going to be is this damn cutting ever going to stop? And that's become kind of a thing for John now, because he's got t-shirts out that say cut 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 so, and that's a bit of a joke in there that he's got. Okay, next question. Oh, just let me check here. See, Janice is here. Hi, Janice. Okay, from my home on the hillside, asks, do either of you have a fabric that you just can't bear to cut up and use? Not really.
I have a lot of stuff that I bought that I thought I'd make a shirt out of, but I don't know if that some of the stuff I bought, I later decided that I don't probably will make it into a shirt.
I do have fabric, although I'm getting over this now, where I will think twice. I will look for a pattern that I think will show the fabric off, so I may hold back on it for a while. Like, for example, Julie, who's one of our regular subscribers, sent me a beautiful bundle of Christmas fabrics, and I have set that aside with a couple of patterns. I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to use, but that's because, well, first of all, it was a gift. It was a very thoughtful gift, and I don't want to so-called waste the fabric on just anything. So that's as close as I come. But you know, you have fabric, you got to cut it. You got to use it. But having said that, there are people who curate fabric. They collect it. Like Adam Sows. He collects Tula pink fabrics. He still cuts into it, though, and makes things out of it. But he has, like, I think the world's largest collection next to Tula herself of Tula fabrics, because he absolutely loves them. So, yeah, there are people like that. But I'm not one of them, and I don't think you are either.
No, not really. I have fabric. I have a ton of fabric, and I haven't used it a lot.
Well, you can't find it most of the time.
No, I can find it.
Yeah. Okay, next question from Dubrovka. 2 questions for Walter. Will you ever show us your bag making? Notice I carried over to the sentence on that.
At some point in time.
Okay. So I think what Dubrovka might be asking here is, we've said we were going to show a tutorial on how to make a Walter bag. We have not got to that yet. And when I say we, I mean Walter, because I'm game to go with this, but this is something that it has to be planned out. So we, because we'll have to probably make a series of videos with that. And it's, he's always tied up. My people call his people.
Do it. I need Steve to help me film it. So
yeah, that's why I said it's going to take 2 of us to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll get that sometime, but I'm not going to say when that's going to be. And then
soon.
Soon. Yeah, it's coming soon. Yeah, to a theater near you.
It says,
your shirts are so well made. Did you have any interest to sew when you were in high school? And when did you really start sewing?
I didn't really think about sewing in high school. I was doing photography then. I was doing other hobbies. I had done when I was a little kid, I used to sit with my mother and she would be sewing or something like that. And sometimes she got me to do a wind a bobbin or something like that, or she'd cut out a pattern and I'd help her. She'd pin it all together and I'd cut it out for her. And so I got involved with that. I didn't actually start sewing until actually it was around when Steve and I first got a house, and there were a few items I needed to make for the house, and also Halloween costumes. We made some Halloween costumes, and I got my mother's old sewing machine and started to sew on it, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I managed to make Halloween costumes. And actually, what I did was I took a sweatshirt and measured the sweatshirt, and I copied the sweatshirt and made it into a top, and then that's how I did that. It was very rough sewing. I didn't know what I was doing. It was sort of like I wanted to do something. I needed to make something, so I started to sew. But I sewed as an as needed basis. So on a project, I didn't actually start making shirts until around the pandemic, 2020, when I always wanted to make a shirt, but I didn't know how to go about it. So it was when a friend of mine, or when I knew a guy I knew, started just sewing his own shirts, and women kept asking him, can you do a tutorial on how to do a man's shirt, because they'd like to sew shirts for their husbands. So I signed up for the course, and ever since then, that's how I learned how to do the shirts.
Okay, and so there's some follow-up questions to come from another person here, and I think I'll go to these right now because they're related to what you've just said. You've already answered the one question the person had for you about garment making. Did you have any previous sewing experience? But the other question this other person has is, and this is, I believe, Pat asked this, Pat Anderson, I think. What colors and designs do you gravitate to, and why?
I tend to gravitate to blues. A lot of our shirts are blue. I like bright, in Steve's case, I like bright colors. I'll look at a shirt, try and figure out if the pattern is something that would work well in a shirt. So it's hard to say what I gravitate to for shirt making. I bought some fabric that I thought I'd make a shirt out of, but I haven't made it, and now that I look at it, it's a fabric that I don't think I'm gonna make a shirt out of it.
But you like patterns that have a sort of an architectural industrial look, like Juicy Juice fabric.
Yeah, I like Juicy Juice fabric. I liked a lot of the Timeless Treasure stuff and the Free Spirit stuff, and Jason Yenter stuff. I like ones that have patterns in it that would be good for shirts. So,
and then following up on that, what has been the most challenging fabric you had to sew with?
Jersey, sweatshirt material. I did a coat out of I forget what it's called. No, I can't remember what the fabric's called. It's a very thick canvasy type fabric, and top stitching on it was terrible. A silky material is hard to work with. But see, when I was taking these classes, doing different fabrics, the guy that was teaching the class was showing us shortcuts on how to sew better on it, like using a type of interfacing tape on stretchy jersey material that would stabilize it so it was easier to sew on, and things like that. And I would not have known that on my own, but after taking the class, I understand that now, that you sometimes to sew on tricky fabrics, you have to stabilize it to sew on it.
Okay, so next question up here, question for me. Were you ever interested in buying and using scan and cut machine for your applique projects, or maybe you already have one? Well, actually, Dubrovka, I bought a scan and cut machine a long time ago when they first came out, one of the first models. when I was a paper crafter. It was before I had a Cricut, which if you in the paper crafting community, you know that's a die cutting machine, been around for years. But scan and cut, the beauty of it was supposedly you could take things, feed it into the machine, it would scan it like a photocopier kind of thing, and then it would cut out whatever that was that you had scanned. Now I had one of the earlier machines and it did work to a point, but what a lot of people use the machines for now is, I know, for cutting out applique. I didn't have any luck with that. I got it out some time ago. I hadn't been using it and I put it in basically on a shelf somewhere and left it there and tried, and my machine just wouldn't cut fabric properly. Also, I find them a pain in the butt, even the newer machines. I mean, they've improved them. I'm sure they've improved them since the one I had bought. But you've got that stupid sticky mat and you've got to get your fabric on it. And, you know, quite frankly, I could cut out the appliques by hand. You know, you like putting steam-a-seam, for example, through your photocopy, or not your photocopy, through your printer. You can do that and print right onto the steam-a-seam, or just putting your fabric down and then afterwards you put your fabric on top of it and cut around the line and everything. You can do that all faster, I think, than using a scan and cut. Now, maybe if I had more experience with it, maybe over time, but with the machine I have, no.
And even your Cricut has
Even
the
my Cricut doesn't do it.
rotary blade that was supposed to cut fabric, and you've had trouble with it.
I've had major trouble. I've never got it to cut anything properly. And I don't know if I got a lemon of a machine. I did contact the company about that, and they told me, oh, unplug it and reboot it and try again. And yeah, no, it didn't do much of a job. I don't know, maybe they've improved on that since, because they're still making Cricuts and things, and they're still making scan and cuts. But no, I don't do a lot of applique anyways, and if I do applique, I can do it faster than getting out the machine and trying to get it to cut for me. Okay, next question. Faith asks, you mentioned that next year you might go to Japan. Is that your first trip to Japan? Well, we already talked about this, but yes, it would be our first trip to Japan with it. So yeah, we're toying with the idea. Walter's doing some preliminary research.
I haven't done much research yet, but I was gonna do it when we came back from England, and I haven't done it yet.
And we have to decide whether or not, do we want to do it as a cruise? Do we want to go on an organized kind of tour, or just do it ourselves?
Want to try and do it ourselves? So
with it, so yeah.
I mean, language can be a barrier, but
yeah, but actually, from what I've heard, language isn't much of a barrier.
Yeah, from what I've heard too, yeah.
Many business, they speak English enough to get you by on everything. But I have heard that the people there are very, very friendly, very helpful, and
the
it's
crime rate's very low,
and it's very clean, very clean. So yeah. Next question. Barb wants to know, hi, Stephen Waller. Have you ever gone on a trip only to discover you didn't like it there? Do either one of you play a musical instrument? Okay, 3 questions here. Let's start with the first one. Have you ever gone on a trip only to discover you didn't like it there?
I mean, some places I've liked better than other places. Yeah, but
I don't think we've ever been someplace where
I wasn't really that fond of Vietnam.
No, I didn't like Vietnam. Egypt was.
I liked the trip to Egypt, but I wouldn't. It's not a place I would really go back to. It was
it's very
uncomfortable
different.
To be there.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to be there.
I don't usually like going to the U.S.
No, I'm sorry, Americans, and that isn't because of what's going on right now, the political climate. We have never felt comfortable in the U.S. anywhere because, and I'll be honest about it, your gun laws scare us. And we don't know who might be standing behind us with a gun. Your big cities are really big, and so crime is higher. We have crime here in Canada too. Toronto is not Toronto the good, but we just don't feel as comfortable. Places where we've gone that we feel extremely comfortable: the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Netherlands, Scandinavian countries. Yeah, we
I
don't.
mean, we've been to U.S. all over the place and
Yeah.
stuff, but we're always on edge when we're there, and that bothers me. I think we haven't been to Mexico yet. I think areas of Mexico might bother me.
Yes.
Because any place where there's a lot of begging or something
Yeah.
would bother me.
And some parts of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
too.
like when we went to Egypt, there was a lot of people begging, and I
Yeah.
felt sorry for them.
Yeah, and of course you don't know whether you're being scammed either
Yeah.
with it. That's the other thing. So yeah,
But no, there isn't any place I can say I absolutely hate
that
it.
we went
to
running,
going,
screaming
yeah.
out of. No.
No, that it was a place that we were, even in the U.S., a place where we'd go and couldn't wait to get home type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Do either one of you play a musical instrument? Well,
no, not for me.
well, I did. I don't anymore. My mother made me take piano lessons when I was a kid, and I went all the way up to the Royal Conservatory of grade 8. Those of you that Canadians will know what the Royal Conservatory is. Yeah, I can't play. Not in fact, I hated practicing. One of the reasons why I can't play, for that matter. In fact, to the point where I had a little tape recorder when I was in my early teens, and I record one session of me practicing, and then my mother was like upstairs, the piano was downstairs, and I'd be on there supposedly practicing. I would turn on the tape recorder and let it play, and she thought that I was practicing, and I wasn't. And do I regret that now, that I should have put more time into it? Yeah, I do, to a certain extent, but I had an interest in other places. So, and all of my siblings, they took piano lessons as well. But the only one out of the three of us that can actually play is my sister, and that's because my sister didn't go through Royal Conservatory. She went to the convent and got it from the nuns who bashed her knuckles when her hands weren't upright on the keyboard. But she has a natural ear.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't, not at all. And I was just very, very mechanical. So yeah, don't play anything. Yeah, probably a bit of a loss, but
And
there you go.
were you a Boy Scout?
Were you?
I was never a Boy Scout.
Oh, I was a Boy Scout in a big way. I went to Cubs. I moved up into Scouts. I became a Venture. That's the next level after Scouts. I became a Cub leader for a while. I am at that time, I was the youngest person in Canada to get the leadership award. Like, you had to go to a lot of like outdoor classes, like, and do stuff, and to get they call it a Gilwellian. I'm a Gilwellian, and it's a special scarf, it's a special woggle, and it's not easy to get that. And I think I was 18 years old at the time that I achieved that. I was a Queen Scout, except we didn't call it Queen Scout. That had just passed. They called it the Gold Citizens Award. I had all the awards, everything. My parents were involved in the scouting movement. My brother was in Scouts and Cubs and that. My sister was in Girl Guides, Brownies, Girl Guides, all of that. Oh yeah, we were in it.
No.
I can rub two Twix together and realize I'm not going to make a fire, so go someplace else.
I had friends that were in the scouting movement, but when I asked my parents to join, they said, "No, you're not joining that."
Yeah. And you know what's kind of ironic is you hear me talk about roughing it is like a nice hotel without room service. Do I camp anymore? Oh God, no. Please do not put me in the wilderness.
I'm glad he doesn't like to camp, because I don't like to camp either.
I did camp. I camped in all seasons when I was a scout, winter camping, summer camping. I camped. What turned me off camping is once you're a Cub leader and you take those kids out for a weekend camp, it could be absolutely dry weather, but within 5 minutes, those kids came running back covered in crap. I don't know where they got it, how they did it, and then it went downhill from there. Stinky little boys through it all, and no, and oh, the way they ate, and oh, just piggies. I mean, nope, that turned me off. And then I became a teacher, so it was easier to, I had a bigger audience to beat up on, kind of thing. But yeah, but yes, I was a major Boy Scout. You know, did orientation and everything with it. Okay, next question. Sewing Wolf wants to know, hi Steve and Walter, was wondering if bring in any vegetable plant if you bring in any vegetable plant and overwinter them, and if you do, is there any special
last year, as it was last year, I took in some peppers, some green peppers, and that big mistake.
Yeah.
It had some bugs on it, and the bugs kept multiplying inside, and to the point where I had to throw the plants out and clean up, because I won't take anything anymore inside, because I don't want to bring any bugs inside.
Yeah.
I'll take a plant that I've grown outside and leave it there, but I'm not bringing any plants in anymore. You can do it, but make sure you spray it down well for bugs and stuff like that before you bring it in.
Yeah, or you'll spend your whole winter killing little gnats.
I had a real bad problem with aphids, and it was just like, by the time I realized I had the problem with the aphids, it was just a mess.
Yeah. And I see here on the comment section, there's another question, which is more of a political question. Linda Carson says, are the Western Canadian provinces moving towards independence? What's happening with that? The answer to that is no.
No.
They are not. And there's a few Westerners on here that can probably answer that better than we can from Ontario. What you're hearing is a whole lot of media bull roar, because there's a minority of individuals who are stirring the pot out there and talking about separatism. But all you have to use is a logical mind. Alberta cannot survive without being independent from the rest of Canada. It's just as simple as that. They do not have the infrastructure that they have with a federal government like Canada. I mean, Quebec for years, it raises its little separatist ugly head, and we all let them spew forth and do little things, and then it dies down again. And I'm pretty sure the same thing is going to happen with Western Canada. Nope. I mean, Trump would probably like to say that, yeah, there's disgruntlement and the provinces are breaking up in Canada. He would like that, but that's not happening at all. If anything, Canada is more united and stronger than it ever has been, and that's the only good thing that's come out of the Trump administration. And that's all we need to talk about right now about that. Bonnie wants to know, hi, Stephen, did you ever design your own embroidery designs, or do you just purchase ones from suppliers? No, I have edited some, and we were talking earlier about Artistic Digitizer for that, but I have never made one completely from scratch.
I've done a couple, but it's not, it's a lot of work to make one.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. There's a huge learning curve in using the software for it. And you know, if I can get it from somebody else at a reasonable cost and it fulfills the need I have for it, then why not?
Yeah, I mean, if it was something that I specifically wanted to transfer over and make an embroidery file out of it, like a special design, I would probably try it and do it.
Well, I have done that. I have done that. I did it with that picture of your niece's dog.
Yeah, we've done that. And then I remember I made the ones with the maple leaves, and I did different colors.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then I did one for Brendan. For his thing. It was a very simple design. So we've done it. It's just that it's a lot of work to do. You have to.
But you didn't do that from scratch. Yeah, it was an edit. You edited an existing design and with it. So, which
and it wasn't an embroidery design. I took
wasn't it?
No, it was a drawing that Brendan gave me.
Oh, and I scanned. That's right. Yeah. That's what that was too. So yeah, but if you're thinking of something like an original design from scratch, I've never done it. No.
Yeah, I tried doing a Mickey Mouse once. Remember, from a Mickey Mouse picture, and it took me a long time to get it done.
Yeah, Linda says, back to the Alberta thing. Or Western one, never knew what info to trust. Best to ask people. Yep. But you'd have to ask some Albertans, not us.
Barb Olson.
Yeah, yeah. We're Ontarians.
Yeah.
Totally different head. Oops, where's my thing here? Okay. Oh, that's the end of those. Okay, so there's a few questions here that came in, and these go back to quilting. This one's directed at me. What are your top 5 colors you gravitate to when making a quilt and why? Blue, 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 white. No, both Walter and
Actually, I tend to shy away from browns.
yeah, I do too.
Browns and
Browns and
beiges
greens.
stuff. I like blues and purples and blacks and okay. It's for Stephen.
It was directed at me, not you.
Okay, you.
Fine.
You. Okay, what do you like?
Well, I don't know now. You made me forget.
Do you like pink?
I like blue. No. Although it will depend. I will
like
not
fuchsia. Yeah, fuchsia is better than
maybe
pink.
fuchsia, but
Pale pink.
I'm not. I don't gravitate towards it. That would be something that would be definitely a secondary or thirdary. There's a new word. Color in something. Blue is my primary color. I like teal, as well. Certain shades of teal. I stay away from the browns and oranges and yellows, although when in the right combination, I do sometimes, depending on the theme of the quilt, I like the fall colors in those. I tend to go for bright colors. I like purples.
Yeah,
too.
you don't like pastel colors.
Oh God, no, I don't like pastels because that's
like
just washed out
Easter
color.
colors. No.
Yeah, no, not into that. So then another question for me is, what other hobbies do you have besides quilting? Well, 3D printing, of course. We both like to travel, so that's a hobby. I like to tinker with computer technology in certain ways, you know, whatever, if something new comes out, like to play around with that. So does Walter. What other hobbies? Reading, I guess, if we want to count. To me, reading is just a state of being, for me. But I like to read. Although I've slowed down on the speed of my reading these days, because I usually read just before I go to sleep, and so that means I usually get through one chapter.
I used to have other hobbies like stained glass, which
Yeah.
I have all the stuff for, but I haven't done it in a while.
I used to do, of course, paper crafting, anything in paper crafting, journal making, and I mean like real journals, hardcover journals. I used to do candle making when I was younger. I've tried a lot of things over the years.
I mean, like when I was very young, I did photography, but now it's all digital. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't have any right now hobbies other than some sewing that I do, and I don't do it that regular. So, and other than that, I can't say I have any specific what I would call hobbies.
Well, the thing too about sewing and quilting too, there are subcategories in there, like embroidery. I love doing machine embroidery. And you know, because you can do so much more than just put like a monogram on a towel, because there's a whole world out there, and you've seen it on the channel. I've shown you all the various things. So I like those. I like, you know, experimenting in quilting too. So there are sub hobbies within the larger hobby as well of sewing and quilting. And then she asks, what type of thread do you use and the weight you use the most? Well, I use Aurifil, and I usually use 50 weight. That's what I piece with. I don't really branch out into a lot of other colors, except when I'm actually doing the quilting part of it, and I use glide thread for that. And, you know, the color will depend on, and I think the glide is a 60 weight. Or is it 40 weight?
No, it's 40 weight.
It's 40 weight, yeah. With it. So,
and I use Orfil a lot, or I'll use Gutermann. I've used Mettler. I've used a variety of different ones. Usually around a 50 weight, sometimes a 60 weight. I've done top stitching using 12 weight. So it depends on what you need it for.
yeah. And I also use in my embroidery machine Floriani as well. I like Floriani. It's got a nice sheen to it for machine embroidery. Then the other question asked, what techniques do you find helpful to get over losing your sojo? Well, I don't know, because right now I'm having a little trouble with the sojo thing. I've been doing various other projects, avoiding some of the main projects for some reason. And I really don't have a technique for getting over it. I guess something has to inspire me, whether it is a piece of art or it's a technique that I see on YouTube or a fabric line. That's usually what gets me over the sojo. It goes, ooh, I have to have that. I have to try that, and I get excited again. But lately, nothing is really exciting me. Mind you, I am excited about the Dollarama bag tote bags, that kind of thing. So now our last question for today is, and this was for both of us, what is your favorite thing about quilting or sewing that keeps you interested in the craft? Well, for me, it's the creativity. There's always something new once you get out of your once you get your sojo back. I mean, it doesn't have to be always the same thing. If you explore new techniques or new styles and things like that, it taps into my wish to be creative. What about you?
I don't know. I like to make more shirts.
Okay. Why do you like
know.
making shirts? I mean, aren't you bored making shirts?
Well, I am a little bored making shirts. I want to make some other stuff, other garments. But I don't know. Why do you like quilting? You're just doing straight sewing.
Yeah, but it's the end product.
I like
it's the end product.
Well, that's the same with me.
So yeah, it's the same technique, I guess, but it's
I
the
like
end product.
Like different colors and stuff. I don't like now that I made my own shirts. I don't even look at purchased shirts anymore.
No, and because they might get a hole in them.
But anyway, no, actually, I don't know. It's hard. That's a hard question.
Yeah, it is a hard question to answer. So that's the best I can come up with, anyways, for it. So. Carol wants to know, is glide thread polyester? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Linda likes Orifil 50 weight to piece in use with oh, there's a spider. In to piece. I use 60 weight in bobbin sometimes. I also like Metler and Madeira.
Yeah, we'll use what's the bobbin? The bobbin weight is 60 weight for the embroidery we use, right? Or is it 80 weight?
No, it's 60. The Floriani, you mean?
No, the the Monfil.
What, the pre-wound bobbins?
Pre-wound bobbins.
Yeah, they're 60. They're 60, I think, with that. But yeah, so glide is polyester. There used to be people said when you're quilting a quilt, you had to use cotton thread because polyester would eat through the fibers. Well, polyester, and I think it did, but so over time your quilt would fall apart. But the new polyesters are all coated in cotton, and is that called mercerized?
I don't know.
I'm not sure if that's the right term for that. But anyways, so yeah, you don't have to worry about that kind of thing anymore. And most of the polyesters feel like cotton when you're using them.
It's not like the old polyester that is very
that was kind of like fish liney kind of thing to it. But anyways, so I think that's all the questions today. So thank you for your contributions to the questions. I enjoyed answering them. We enjoyed answering them. And it was nice of you to give us all those questions. It was a nice variety of things. So next week, my vlog on Monday. On Tuesday, the Idiot Quilter, and I have some things there to show you in more detail. And also, I have arranged to do an interview this week with a brand new YouTube channel creator. He goes by the Boy Stitcher. And so look him up. He only has 2 videos right now, but he's doing paper piecing, and he's really good at explaining the paper piecing. So I have arranged to do an interview with him. I'm doing it on Monday night, so I'm recording it then. And so hopefully I will be able to post it on Tuesday as well, after Idiot Quilter. I haven't done an interview in a while. And advance notice, I have tentatively decided on a date for the fall retreat this year. You know I have a retreat twice a year. One is in the fall, It is going to be on Saturday, October the 18th. That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving here in Canada. Our Thanksgiving falls earlier than the American Thanksgiving. There'll be more details coming out. Right now, I'm trying to line up my presenters for it. One that I think I probably have is Adam of Adam Sews. Nothing is written in stone right yet, but I've started the prep for it. And it is absolutely free, but you will have to register for it. But I'll give you all those details when basically about the middle of September. For all of that. So stay tuned for it. But right now, I think it's going to be on Saturday, October the 18th. Okay, I think that's it. Anything you want to add?
Nope.
Okay, well, we have to get ready now because we're having company again. My brother sent me a message today. My brother that lives out in BC, he and my sister-in-law are coming, have come out here to visit relatives, and they're coming over here. And we're going to get together tonight and maybe have some Polish food. He's going to pick that up. Why the eyebrow thing when I said Polish food? What, you don't like Polish food? I thought you did.
Well, it's high carb.
Oh, Jesus, get over it, man. Okay, you can stick a feather down your throat and throw it back up. Whatever. That's not appetizing. Anyway, so we gotta get ready for that because they're supposed to be here in about a half an hour. So hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you on the YouTubes. Bye for now.